The rabbit hole abyss. The rabbit, in this case, must be a nuclear-powered Energizer bunny in order to be able to dig a rabbit hole this deep. We are dealing with nothing short of an atomic-level, homogenized pile of peppered fly shit, the constituent parts of which reach into every facet of our society and culture. We are starting to see empirical proof that the figure of 800,000 missing kids in the U.S. every year is not a conspiracy theory and is not proverbial smoke being blown up your ass. In fact, we have reason to believe that those numbers are much higher, in which case we must, as a matter of conscience, conclude that there is a covert conspiracy to destroy the United States of America. When you destroy a child's innocence and deprive a child of a moral compass, you necessarily provoke psychological mechanisms to cope or escape. The child may cope by incorporating abuse into their accepted normality or become alcoholics or drug addicts. In any case, it is a recipe for disaster. It has been said that people who do such things to children are serial killers who leave their victims alive, and we have seen numerous examples of projection where those who attempt to expose such things get caught up in false allegations against them, or in many cases end up hanging from doorknobs. And for those who, after all this has been revealed since the Podesta emails were exposed by WikiLeaks, still give a single iota of credibility to anything that the mainstream media or the government says, who believe that this is something new, to those of you, I must warn you that any cognitive dissonance you harbor after the shit hits the fan will cause cerebral edema and destroy your worldview after the truth has to be accepted for what it is. We will learn and expose just how many players there are in this vile business of child sex trafficking, and when the full scope of it is revealed, there will be the inevitable wave of repercussions that has been building up pressure for many, many years. It just keeps getting deeper, folks. Here's an article from Puppet String News. Jeffrey Epstein's child trafficking network involved around 1,000 child models as young as 12. True Pundit reports, millionaire and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was reportedly provided with underage girls ages 12 and up through a French modeling agency, news reports reveal. One of Epstein's partners, Jean-Luc Bruno, was suspected of providing the pedophile with minors for the purpose of sexually assaulting them. Bruno opened an international modeling agency by the name of MC2, through which he managed to collect approximately 1,000 teenage girls for Epstein. According to testimonies by some of Bruno's previous employees, he would obtain visas for the girls into the United States and would even join some of Epstein's journeys around the world. We are starting to see where the victims of Jeffrey Epstein's elite child trafficking network came from and how young they could be, as we are finding out a French modeling agency provided Epstein with around 1,000 child models as young as 12. This is obviously just one way that Jeffrey Epstein's child trafficking network for elite names like the Clintons was provided with children, and since we have one modeling agency providing Epstein with hundreds of child models as young as 12. It is very likely more will be revealed, and likely child modeling agencies inside the United States. This truly is how disgusting and evil the child trafficking network of Jeffrey Epstein, who has committed a so-called suicide, could get, as modeling agencies on a global scale provided Epstein's network with children as young as 12. My bet, a large sum of these victims are very likely dead. And today, we learned that the most prolific chomo in U.S. history drew up a last will and testament just 2 days before his alleged suicide, and has elected several executors paying them fees of $250,000 each. There are loads of questions, but at this point, no other details have surfaced. Any speculation on my part would just be guesswork. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. However, what we do have is fertile ground for unfounded allegations. We have seen in the past that seemingly unrelated things can somehow be related. For example, who would have believed that CPS is a major supplier of children for sex trafficking? But it's true. Not everyone, not all of them, but one is enough. We know that after the southern border got tighter than a clam's ass, and that's watertight, for smuggling children, New York passed the infanticide bill. And let's not mince words and call it what it is. No doubt these things seem not to be related, but I assure you, the former thing necessitated the latter thing because the supply of spice must be maintained. There are many very good arguments for the idea that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive, as I proposed in a prior video. Stony Stone, my good friend, has the opposite opinion, with 85% certainty. The question is not for the distinction of being right or wrong, but my bullshit detector instincts weigh heavily in the direction of WITSEC awaiting the biggest mass chomo arrests in world history. Aryan Nation gang members will be outnumbered in prison.
Epstein is not dead. He's not dead. He is not dead. In fact, I'm going to link to a video here by, this is a YouTube account called AMTV. He has 649,000 subscribers. All right, so over 500,000 subscribers, and he's going on about how Jeffrey Epstein's still alive, but he is still alive. Jeffrey Epstein is in a federal witness protection program, just like Julian Assange. He is very much alive. Why have the White Hats staged this seemingly arkancide, this seemingly quote-unquote suicide or death? There are two very important reasons. And remember, okay, with Epstein, the government has millions of documents, thousands of videos, thousands of hours of testimony. We have so much on Epstein, so much. But what was the purpose? Why are the White Hats trying to convince everyone that he committed suicide or that he's dead, that he was murdered? Two reasons. First of all, everything is leading up to the 15th. Remember, the 15th is when Dan Coates is officially out. The new acting DNI comes in. This is the end of the 10 days since 8chan was taken down where Q posts. And of course, this is also leading further to the 19th. Q was posted about the 19th. We thought it was last month on the 19th, but it looks like something's going to happen on this 19th. First of all, there's two reasons. Actually, before I even get to that, let me back up. Jeffrey Epstein, this was a tweet from Lambright Wayne. Epstein's nose doesn't match the body, and he actually shows an image of both when Epstein's alive and then Epstein's death. Nose is completely different, and noses, guys, are as unique as fingerprints. Also shows the ear is very different as well, but you can really tell it on the nose. So whoever was shown that was dead, it's not Epstein. Not Epstein at all. Okay, so there's two reasons why the White Hats want everyone to think that Epstein was murdered. Number one, all the blame is going to the Clintons. Now here's something that you may not know. Just today, there were over 70,000 hits for the search Clinton body count. So many hits that Google literally disabled that search. Disabled it. So the Clintons, the deep state, are being framed for this. Also, notice how the deep state tried to do all they could to get Epstein out of the news, and now he is splashed everywhere. Everywhere. Second reason why the White Hats wanted everyone to think he was arkancided. The initial first appearance that Epstein was going to have, or the initial hearing, was set for October. I mean, he had an arraignment, of course, where he pleaded not guilty, but the first major appearance was going to be in October, and his lawyers had actually filed just recently a motion for continuance, pushing back the date all the way to June 2020, because Epstein's lawyers were saying, hey, there's all this information we got to process, we got to pick through this. In other words, they were going to take full advantage of how slow our court system, how slow our judicial system goes, and it was literally pushed back until June of 2020. Now, with Epstein supposedly dead, now the government can initiate first proceedings immediately, as soon as they wish. Everything's going to be fast-tracked now. Everything's going to be fast-tracked. Now, yeah, let me do this. There's an article here in NBC News. NBC News, we're talking mainstream media. Trump retweets Epstein conspiracy theory claiming Clinton connection. You see what's happening now? Not only is Epstein back on the news, now everyone is focused on Clinton's being responsible for this. Everyone. I want to go through I'm going to go through some of Storm is Upon Us' tweet here. He says, the fake news media is convulsing with panic today like never before as their world collapses. Huge Epstein cash exposing the enormity of the elite pedophile power structure that runs the world, proving everything QAnon has been saying. They have never been in such a spin. And then he says, hey, Bill Maher, I was hoping you'd tell some funny jokes about Trump's friendship with Epstein. He's your favorite target. Why don't you get your writers on it? Did the cat get your tongue, or is it just poor taste after your child-raping excursions to the island? Yeah. Then he tweeted out this. Pedophilia, and worse, is the glue that holds the deep state in place. They can never be deposed without all the blackmail files being exposed. Get ready to be shocked. Few can comprehend the scale and reach of the cabal's corporate, political, and entertainment empire. And that completely dovetails into what I just said. And now the government can fast-track everything. They're not going to have to wait until June of 2020, like his lawyers were trying to file the motion for when Epstein was alive. Now that he's dead, now that he's been archived, they can fast-track this thing.
Please subscribe to our backup channels, Whirlwind Revolt, Inglorious Patriots, and Net4Truth USA 2 Patriot channel. You can also find us at Net4Truth USA on BitChute. We fly so close to the target, we're on our 4th fighter jet. We will be relentless truth seekers until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/Net4Truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.